Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Joseph Ward, and welcome to my On the Shoulders of Giants YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you share this channel. And that notification button, click that notification button so every time I drop a new video, you will know what's going on. African history at your fingertips through this channel. You're getting biographies of your sung and unsung heroes right at your fingertips. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about On the Shoulders of Giants, where you can learn about yourself and we tell our own stories. Peace out. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my On the Shoulders of Giants channel. I am Joseph Ward, the founder, creator, and author of On the Shoulders of Giants. My book comes out tomorrow. My new book, On the Shoulders of Giants, Volume 2, Central America, comes out tomorrow, September 4th. It will be available on my website, so make sure you click the link that's going to be popping up in the cards, on the end screens, and in the description. So make sure you click on the links to be able to buy your copy. And when you buy a copy of it and you read it, please go to Amazon.com and leave a review as soon as you read the book, so we'll know your thoughts and feelings about the book. Then thank you for all the support and everything that everybody has been giving me. Now today I want to talk about the psychology of racism and the effects that racism has had on the psyche of black people, us being the victims of racism. And it's gonna be, and this, it's gonna, we're gonna get into it. It's not gonna be something where I bore you, but I do want to get into this now. The psychology behind racism, from what I've studied and from a historical point of view of information that I've come across, is a group of people who naturally have an inferiority complex, i.e. Europeans, who are looking for world domination and is going to use any tact or advantage that they need to gain world domination, including destroying their own people if they need to. So listen to what I just said. If the idea behind world domination is I will destroy my own mother if I need to, if you understand that about racism and white supremacy, if you understand that, then that should help you understand the dealings that we've had as African people with white people and why we exist the way we do and why we act the way we do. I always tell people the nigger was a creation of white supremacy. And the nigger was a creation of white supremacy because the nigger allows white supremacy to be sustained because you don't have the same opposition towards white supremacy as you would versus a black person. Right? Because the nigger has internalized these behaviors that they feel are more successful survival behaviors. Whether it's right or wrong, well, actually, for them, you could even take right or wrong out of it. It's more so life or death for them, because they've internalized that this is right. They are the people who are looking for comfort within the overall system of white supremacy, right? So on one end, the mindset is I'm going to take these people and create a people and create a mindset within the people to where they will never be threats to our dominion. And on the other end, the people who are being conditioned have internalized these teachings and internalized this behavior and internalized everything that goes around being this nigger, and passed it from generation to generation to generation, and things are not being glorified. So that's why when you meet white people, like I was doing HIV testing one day here in Tallahassee, and I was testing this white girl, and some song came on the radio. Some of these crazy new songs, and the white girl asked me did I like the song, and I gave her a look like, hell no, I don't like the song. And she was like, but you're black. My immediate reply started to be was, well, you white and you don't own no slaves. You know, to let her know that, like, what your statement is ignorant. But think about that though. White people who, first of all, white people don't like black people. The majority, white supremacy. Let me say it like this. Let me not say white people, even though it is white supremacy is made up of white people. But the majority of all white people who support white supremacy don't like black people. Whether you support it consciously or unconsciously, all white people who support white supremacy don't like black people. Now, they like black culture and the outcomes of black culture and the things that black people create. But they don't like us. If they can find a way to destroy us without destroying the culture and the things that we create, they would. This is what you have to understand about the psychology of racism and the psychology of white supremacy, right? A group of people who feel like resources are low, a group of people who understand they have negative birth rates, a group of people who are greedy, and a group of people who will do anything to survive, and a group of people who will do anything to thrive, including eating their own parents. Because this is who we're dealing with. We're dealing with savage people. Let's stop acting like we're dealing with civilized beings. We're not dealing with civilized beings. We're dealing with savages. And you would know that if you study black history, but study white history as well. Look at how white people treat each other. Vlad the Impaler couldn't exist. Like, they try to talk about Idi Amin, right? Idi Amin don't even compare to Vlad the Impaler, because in a lot of that, Idi Amin was still fighting white supremacy, still fighting colonialism. Whether his tactics were always good or not, it was still in the attempt to fight white supremacy. Vlad the Impaler he was just trying to dominate. He was doing what white supremacy does and trying to dominate. And then so, that's where the cannibalistic behavior came from. Now, we keep falling into these same traps with white America, white supremacy, because we don't know the history of it. We haven't studied it enough. We haven't studied white history or black people. And remember, white people haven't studied white history or black people. Or white people are just as ignorant about their history and our history as we are. Right? And so we get mad often at white people for the dumb stuff that they do and they say, but they don't know no damn better. Now, I wish we knew better. But that's why the nigga was created. And that's why the nigga was such a great creation for white people. Because the nigga ain't gonna try to improve himself. No matter how many black people can tell the nigga what he wanna know, the nigga won't try to improve himself. But it's a created mindset that was first displayed in white America and then transformed to black America, because they taught us to be the worst of their culture and their society, which actually it's a oxymoron, because what is the best of savage white culture? I don't know. But that's what getting down to understanding the nitty-gritty of white supremacy and white culture and the psychology behind it. It's for them, it's survival at all costs, because they have the perception of a lack of resources, coupled with a negative birth rate, coupled with the ideas that they tell themselves that black people, African people specifically, because we're their number one targets, we're the greatest threat to them continuing as a people, and then them continuing as a power, as a world order. We are the biggest threat. We can breed out all white people. We could breed their ass out. We could really breed out all other races if we really wanted to. But we can truly breed out white. And we have the greatest potential, especially blacks in America, because we are an amalgamation of so many different types of black people from around the world who have been brought to this place. Many black people from different places, from different cities on the continent, even black people who were already here when white people got here, right? And so when we start to understand that psychology behind that, like I was listening to a conversation earlier on YouTube, and they were talking about the psychology of the coon. And similar to this, I mean, coons, even though we don't like them and we should put them in their place, coons are still victims of white supremacy, and they're just, I don't know the best way to be a victim. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't defend it, that we don't take a stand against it, but it's also, what I'm saying is, it's like we don't know the best way to be a victim. Now, coonery is not cool, especially if you know what you're doing. Especially if you know what you're doing. Some of us have no idea because it's the indoctrination that we've been given from our parents, because our parents are in love with white America, because many black people have an inferiority complex, and to them, to be successful is to be validated by whites, blacks, others. They want to be validated by their peers and uplifted in the spotlight by white America and the bougie blacks who support white supremacy, right? And also with the psychology of racism, that's why you can have white people who say, I'm a good white person, I fight racism, I'm against racism, but don't actually do a damn thing to fight against racism. They just talk. Like, if you're just talking, you're not helping. Especially if you're white, because you can do more as a white person. As white people, you can take active stances. It's white people's job to stop racism. It's black people's job to become liberated from the system of white supremacy. And I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to keep saying that. That's what it is. But I do want to get you to start thinking about the psychology behind the things that happen to us, and the psychology behind the people and the methods that are used, that were used to dominate and conquer black people and African people of the world, and are still being used to dominate black and African people of the world, the indigenous people of the world. That's how you have China coming in, buying up Africa. That's how you still have black people all over the world being gentrified and colonized out, and ethnic cleansing is happening to our people, because we don't understand the psychology and the culture and everything that goes into racism and white supremacy. We're too humane. We're humane to a fault, in my opinion, because we want to show love to everybody. We want to show love to everybody, even our enemies. And also black people in America, we've been taught that the best way to cast out hate is with love, even though that shit ain't been working. Even though history shows us the only nations of people who've been able to gain their freedom had to whoop some ass to get free. Black Americans ignored that. Like, no disrespect to Dr. King, but why would you listen to Dr. King about a message of true liberation from white supremacy versus looking at the Haitian Revolution? Dr. King did not necessarily, truly, literally free anybody from anything. But look at the Haitian Revolution. Look at Harriet Tubman. Look at Gaspar Younger. Look at Madison Washington. Look at the successful revolutions. Somebody had to get their ass whooped. Dr. King took a page from Gandhi's book, and the Indians ain't really dispelled the British. I mean, the British did control fucking India. And then Dr. King didn't know that Gandhi didn't like his black ass. No disrespect, but he didn't. Now, Dr. King's philosophy is a piece of the puzzle. It's not the whole puzzle. It's not the whole puzzle. But at some point, when we're talking about true liberation, we have to get into our mindsets that it's not going to come easy, and it's not going to come free. And it's not going to come, it's most likely not going to come in no peaceful stance, through a peaceful means. Somebody's feelings going to have to get hurt. And probably more than that, somebody's ass probably going to have to get kicked. So we have to understand that when we're talking about real liberation from the throes of white supremacy. But we have to understand truly what we're up against, and we don't understand it. The psychology of racism and white supremacy needs to be studied. Study white psychology. Study black psychology. Study black psychologists. Study black history. Study white history. Really study these things that's going on. Study Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Study Dr. Joy DeGruy Leary. Study Dr. Amos Wilson. Study Dr. Umar Johnson. Study Neely Fuller. Study Carl Jung. Study Sigmund Freud. Study all of the different psychologists who contributed to this field. Like the psychology field is one of the most racist fields that are out there. Like the stuff that they use to place black people in the category as animals is ridiculous, and we have to see that. Also, look at the effects of white supremacy and the psychology behind white supremacy and the effects that it has had on us through the religious realm. When you are a black person, and I'm talking to you, if you said this, you crazy as hell. If you're a black person and you're a Christian, and you said and you believe that slavery was necessary for you to learn about Jesus, you crazy as hell. So think about it. Black people are the only people on earth who had to be enslaved for 400 or 500 years to learn about Christ, but nobody else had to do that. You crazy as hell. And you crazy as hell for trying to internalize and really rationalize and really trying to make slavery okay for yourself. You crazy as hell. But that's the psychology behind it that you don't understand. That's why you have to study more. Study more. Study more. You still need to read books. Study our masters. Don't try to, there's no easy way to liberation. There's no quick road to liberation. You either gonna fight hard or you ain't gonna get nothing. Black power.